He lived long and prospered, but tonight he has reached the final frontier. The man who portrayed Mr. Spock for generations of Star Trek fans has died. Avery Haynes now with the tributes to actor Leonard Nimoy. Avery?
He may have played a fictional character, but his impact on and inspiration for space exploration extends well beyond the TV screen. Leonard Nimoy was 83 years old, and everyone from Canada's space astronauts, star astronaut Chris Hadfield to NASA, as well as his TV captain William Shatner, are all remembering the sci-fi legend.
Would be interesting, Captain, to return to that world in 100 years and learn what crop had sprung from the seed you planted today.
Born Leonard Simon Nimoy in 1931 in Boston, he was the second son of Ukrainian immigrant Orthodox Jews. He got the acting bug at age 8 and landed his first movie roles in the early 50s, but it wasn't until 1966 when he became a household name as Mr. Spock on Star Trek alongside Canadian William Shatner as Captain Kirk.
That's all I got, Captain.
Shatner tweeting today, "I loved him like a brother. We'll all miss his humor, his talent, and his capacity to love." In a previously recorded interview, Shatner said Nimoy devised the role of Spock.
He called upon many of his experiences to create that role. Nothing would be the same about Spock if Leonard Nimoy hadn't played him.
Other tweets today from Commander Chris Hadfield. "Leonard, you lived long and prospered and were an inspiration to me and to millions. Rest in peace." And from NASA too, R.I.P. Leonard Nimoy. So many of us at NASA were inspired by Star Trek. Boldly go.
Captain, request permission to...
Denied. If I'm wrong, if it's a trap, I want you here.
The original Star Trek in syndication attracted a cult following that's still strong today. Fans often mimic Spock's trademark, the hand gesture and the phrase, "live long and prosper." Nimoy had visited Vulcan, Alberta, where they pay homage to his character and the TV show. In the early 70s, Nimoy wrote a book, I Am Not Spock, but then learned to embrace the fame and fortune it would continue to give him. His role as Spock inspired one of Canada's most prolific sci-fi writers.
He ultimately became the real custodian of Star Trek. He's the only person to have been involved in Star Trek at its very beginning, the first pilot in 1964, and right up through the most recent version, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek Into Darkness, that he had a cameo in. Nobody else has been involved with the franchise that much.
In the second feature film in 1982, The Wrath of Khan, the death of Spock from radiation poisoning enraged fans.
Spock.
Nimoy's character was reborn in the follow-up film, The Search for Spock. Nimoy also appeared in the most recent J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. This was his final tweet. "A life is like a garden. Perfect moments can be had but not preserved, except in memory. LLAP, which stands for Live Long and Prosper."
In this case, do yourself a favor. Put aside logic. Do what feels right.
And Nimoy quit smoking 30 years ago, but he died from its effects, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. My full interview with Canadian science fiction writer Robert Sawyer will be up on our website, citynews.ca. And you may be surprised to learn about the parallel and not nearly as successful career that Nimoy had while playing Mr. Spock.